Welcome to the Lakers Nation newsfeed. My name is Trevor Lane, senior writer for LakersNation.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane. Make sure you guys are heading over to LakersNation.com, your home for everything Lakers, for all the latest breaking Lakers news, and also a big rumor hitting Los Angeles right now. I'm recording this Tuesday night. By the time you're listening to this could be a done deal. Manny Machado sounds like he is heading to the Dodgers. If you're a Dodgers fan like me, make sure you go over to our sister site, which is DodgersBlue.com. They do a great job keeping you up to date on all the latest Dodgers news and rumors. Again, check it out, DodgersBlue.com. Totally worth your time. So today, for this show, we're going to be talking about the Las Vegas Summer League. Of course, the Los Angeles Lakers unfortunately lost the championship game to the Portland Trailblazers. We're going to break that down, talk a little bit about what we can take away from Summer League overall, and we've got a few news pieces to get into. So let's dive right into it. The first thing we need to talk about is the latest Kawhi Leonard rumor, and this one, unlike the other ones, is a rumor not suggesting that the Lakers will be landing Kawhi Leonard via trade, but instead one suggesting that the Lakers will not. In fact, that they have, quote, given up on landing Kawhi Leonard. And this comes from Brian Windhorst, who appeared on the Low Post podcast, which is Zach Lowe's podcast, one of my favorites, so make sure you guys check that out. But Windhorst suggests that the Lakers are done pursuing Kawhi Leonard. They're over it. And I don't blame them at this point. All we've heard is that the San Antonio Spurs are asking for a fortune. They want a ton in return for Kawhi Leonard. They want Brandon Ingram. They want Josh Hart. They want Kyle Kuzma. They want picks. They want the Lakers to take on bad contracts. All of it. They want everything in exchange for Kawhi Leonard, who has 1 year left on his deal before he hits free agency in 2019. Now, are the Spurs crazy for asking that much? Probably. Will they get that much? No. Nobody's going to pay them that much for a 1 year rental of Kawhi Leonard. Not going to happen, especially with Leonard going around telling everyone, or at least his group, his camp, telling everyone that he wants to be in Los Angeles. So if you are another team and you're trading for him, well, he's not going to stick around after the year. So again, Spurs, a little crazy to ask for that much, but again, why not? Might as well throw it out there, see if somebody bites, and if not, they can come back down to earth at some other point. But for the Lakers, it makes all kinds of sense to just drop out. Why? Because they have cap space in 2019. They will have enough room to sign Kawhi Leonard to a max contract next summer. So that means they can afford to be patient because they landed LeBron James. Kawhi Leonard turned out to not be the golden ticket that was necessary in order to bring LeBron James to Los Angeles. Instead, James is on board with doing this the right way and being patient. He knows that the young guys on the Lakers could really pop this season. I'm especially thinking of Brandon Ingram. And this is a guy who I've said could really take off playing next to LeBron James. And tonight on the ESPN broadcast of the championship game from Las Vegas, Magic Johnson said the same thing. He said, I believe Brandon Ingram will be the guy who benefits the most from the presence of LeBron. So if you're the Lakers, you want to see what Brandon Ingram looks like next to LeBron James. You want to see what Josh Hart looks like next to LeBron. Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, all these young players with all this skill and all this talent can be made much better by playing next to LeBron because that's what he does. He makes teammates better. So again, patience is a perfectly okay strategy in this case because if you give up Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma in order to get Kawhi Leonard, then you're never going to know. You're going to give up all these assets and you won't know exactly what you had, especially what you had when placed next to LeBron James. It's worth it to wait and find out what you've got because the young guys have shown that much potential. They deserve that chance. And look, if everything goes well, let's say that the Lakers are able to have a successful season and Kyle Kuzma blows up and Brandon Ingram blows up. These guys look better. Then you've got a strong team and then cap space next summer to land a max player. Maybe it isn't Kawhi. Maybe this goes the Paul George route and Kawhi gets traded somewhere else. Let's say he gets traded to the Raptors, which is the rumor right now, and suddenly he decides he loves Canada and he wants to stay there forever. That's okay. There's other options on the market. Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, a few other guys that are out there. So again, the Lakers can afford to be patient as long as LeBron is patient, and he has made every indication that he will be, which means that the Lakers can go ahead and keep all of their assets, because that's the real home run move here. Not giving up Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma and all these guys that you're going to need right now just to bring in that second star. The home run move is keeping all of these assets, keeping all of these future picks, and then grabbing that star next summer in free agency and adding him to what you've already got. So again, that's the rumor right now. The Lakers are out of the Kawhi Leonard sweepstakes. That could change. One phone call, that's all it takes for that to change. But for right now, sounds like they are going to play the long game and they are going to wait till next summer. And I think there's good reason for that. Lonzo Ball, surgery on his torn meniscus, successful surgery, which of course we were expecting. You very rarely hear a surgery was unsuccessful, so they were able to repair his meniscus. The Lakers are confident that he's going to be ready for training camp, which is going to kick off mid-September. That's not a surprise. This is a typical thing where it takes maybe 6 weeks for an athlete to get back to 100%. So we should expect Lonzo to be ready for training camp. Now, the one question I've been getting a lot on Twitter is how much is this going to hinder his ability to work out in the offseason? Because we know that Lonzo has a lot of holes in his game that he needs to work on. So how much is this going to prevent him from doing those things and getting him that work? Well, it's going to be a little bit. Right? There's no getting around that. It's going to hurt his ability to work out in the offseason to some degree. Now, I've got a few members of my family who are in the physical therapy field who have dealt with this injury a lot, who have helped athletes come back from this injury many times. And they have all assured me that while he won't be able to do explosive movements right off the bat or anything like that, it's probably going to be more the 6-week mark before he's able to do a lot of the explosive stuff that a basketball player needs to do. So we're talking about cutting and sprinting and things like that. He should still be able to do things like working on his jumper, maybe doing a slow floater in the lane. And that's not nothing. Those are things that he needs to work on. He especially needs to get his jumper to be consistent, playing alongside LeBron. That's going to be critical. So no, Lonzo probably isn't going to make all the improvements that we were hoping for this summer, but that doesn't mean that he's just going to be stagnant either. He's not going to be the exact same player coming back. He should still be able to work on some little aspects of his game, and in the case of his shooting, a big aspect of his game. So again, don't worry too much. It's something where he can still make progress as a basketball player despite having this surgery. Let's talk Summer League. So the Lakers got blown out by the Portland Trail Blazers. I kind of had a feeling this was coming. When you look at the rosters and you see the NBA talent on Portland's Summer League team, like KJ McDaniels has been in the NBA for 3 years. He's 3 years of NBA experience under his belt. Took home the Summer League championship game MVP award. John Jenkins, 5 years. And these are guys playing in Summer League. They typically don't play. Guys who have that amount of experience typically don't play in Summer League. Yeah, the Lakers had Jeff Ayers, who has a number of years of experience. Josh Hart obviously has 1 year under his belt. Alex Caruso has maybe half a year because he spent half the season in the G League. But aside from that, the Lakers don't really have much NBA experience on their Summer League team. So you can see where they were going to be at a disadvantage because the Blazers had guys who just think the game at a higher level. They've been working with NBA coaches and training staffs, and they've been doing all the things that a player needs to do to get to that next level. And that's what it looked like out on the floor. The Blazers were just at a different level. Credit to them. But again, they had a roster stacked with guys with NBA experience. The Lakers didn't. On top of that, the Lakers looked exhausted, and they should. It was the third game in 3 nights. They went to double OT the night before, and they had a really thin bench. They had to lean on their starters a ton just to get to that championship game. So you could see it. Josh Hart, Svi Mykhailiuk, when they were shooting jumpers, they were coming up short almost every time because their legs were shot, and understandably so. So even though the Lakers lost in the championship game, it's Summer League, not a big deal. What can we take away? What things can we take away from the Las Vegas Summer League? And I'm going to focus in on the 4 guys who definitely have a future with the organization. Because you look at a lot of the guys, Xavier Ratan-Mays, right? He had his moments, but is he guaranteed anything with the Lakers? No. Hey, Jeffrey Carroll, he's got a contract with the Lakers, an Exhibit 10 deal, but again, not really guaranteed much of anything with the Lakers. Right, same thing with even Jeff Ayers, who has NBA experience. He has no guarantee of sticking around. So the guys I'm going to focus on are Svi Mykhailiuk, Moe Wagner, Josh Hart, Alex Caruso, and Isaac Bonga. And let's start with Svi. I just wrote a piece for LakersNation.com that was just praising Svi for everything that he's shown during Summer League. Because look, everybody knew heading into Summer League that Svi can shoot. The kid's form is perfect, right? He's on balance every time, snaps his wrist every time. He's got the follow through, shoulder square to the basket. It looks great. Every time he shoots, it's at the point where you're expecting that shot to go in. But he's been waging this campaign to prove that he is more than just a shooter. He's not just a spot-up corner shooter. And we saw that during Summer League. He did prove that. We saw him handle the ball a few times. We saw him make some nice passes. He had a really nice one to Jeff Ayers on a nice little thread-the-needle pass for a dunk. We saw him defending at a higher level than we expected. He still made plenty of mistakes. I remember one time, it was kind of funny. I don't remember which game it was from, but in Las Vegas, I was on press row, and the guy Svi was defending, his shoe came off. And so he stayed down on his own defensive end of the floor while his team went forward and attacked 4-on-5. And Svi, not knowing what to do, just kind of stood in the middle of the floor. Alex Caruso started barking at him, yelling at him, telling him to go double the ball. It kind of snapped him out of it. For a second there, Svi spaced out. Things changed and he didn't know how to adapt. And then once Caruso reminded him and told him what to do, then he snapped right back into it and went and double-teamed the ball just like he should because he didn't have a man to guard. So you still have some issues there, but overall, he was a better defender and a more impressive defender than anybody expected. Rebounds really well. And this is a guy that I don't know if he's going to get a ton of minutes this season, but he's got a skill set that is useful in the NBA, and he's a guy that's going to grow and keep growing. He's got more to him than just his shooting ability. He played point guard growing up. He can handle the ball a little bit. He can pass a little bit. He can defend. He's tough. Got to be excited about what the Lakers found with the 47th pick here. I mean, how often is it that you get the best at anything with the 47th pick, and you can make a legit argument that Svi is the best shooter in the draft? At 47, they snagged him. Pretty solid pick. Moe Wagner, same thing. 25th overall, some raised eyebrows when he was selected, but you watch him compete, and the way he plays, the energy that he plays with, it's impressive. And he fully understood that the knock on him going in was that his wingspan wasn't great, so that was going to be an issue protecting the rim. And with that wingspan issue, plus he doesn't have a great vertical, then he's going to struggle rebounding. So he knew that those two things were his big weaknesses, or seen as his weaknesses, and so he focused on them during Summer League. We saw him boxing out like crazy every time a shot goes up. He enjoyed being physical and pushing guys around. Now, he got moved a little bit too, and he needs to get stronger, but you got to love the aggression that he played with. He really accepted the challenge to become a better rebounder and better rim protector. We saw him block a number of shots. Of course, he runs the floor well. Magic Johnson talked about how he's expecting him to beat a lot of other bigs down the floor. He can step outside and shoot. He can play the pick and pop. There's a lot to like about him. I even saw one play where Moe Wagner D'd up Kevin Knox on the perimeter. And Knox tried to beat him off the dribble a few times and couldn't. Wagner got down in a stance and stuck with him. For a guy that big, he's quicker than you would expect. And all of that's important because unlike Svi's got a bunch of guys in front of him. Right? He's got Josh Hart. He's got KCP. He's got Brandon Ingram. He's got Lance Stevenson. All these guys that are playing these wing positions. Moe Wagner doesn't. The Lakers have 3 centers on the roster. Moe Wagner, JaVale McGee, and Ivica Zubac. That's it. That's their only real options. So again, Moe Wagner has a real path to playing time this season, and so hopefully he can continue building on what he showed in Summer League. Josh Hart obviously showed a ton. He went into Summer League with the goal of being the Summer League MVP, and he accomplished that goal. Averaged more points than anybody else in Summer League, had some wonderful moments on both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively, attacked the basket really well. Yes, his final game was not good. He even got ejected. In fact, I don't know this for sure, but I think he's the only player to get ejected from 2 Summer League games in one season because that did happen. But Josh Hart still managed to improve his game over the summer. I mean, after everything great that we saw him do last season, especially down the stretch, as the season started to to wane and get into the dog days of the NBA season, he really blew up. And he just carried that right into Summer League. He got better as a ball handler, even better as an on-ball defender, took on a leadership role. A lot to like about Josh Hart, and he is going to legitimately challenge KCP for a starting two-guard spot if Luke Walton decides to go that route. If he decides to go Hart or KCP at the 2, I could see some scenarios where LeBron jumps up to the 3 and Brandon Ingram plays 2. Maybe that's a route the Lakers go, and that would put Kyle Kuzma down into the starting lineup at the 4. That could be possible, but just off the top of my head, I still think that it's probably going to be KCP or Hart at the 2, and that Hart has Summer League was very good for Hart. I think he's got a better chance now than he did before Summer League. I think he's raised a lot of eyebrows, he's turned a lot of heads, and he's got people's attention. And if he carries this into training camp, that is going to be a real battle to watch. Alex Caruso, who's still on a 2-way contract with the Lakers, I thought he had a real nice summer league. By the way, Malik Newman's also on a 2-way contract, but I just felt like we didn't really see enough of him to really know what he is. So I'm sure he'll be going into training camp and working with the team from there. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of him in preseason. But Alex Caruso, I was impressed with. He struggled at the beginning of Summer League. It took him a couple of games to get his groove after coming back from Team USA. But his defense made a big difference for the team. His passing and just being that floor general, his leadership out on the court made a big difference for the team. So I thought he had a nice Summer League. Is he competing for a starting role with the Lakers or anything? No. Clearly Rondo and clearly Lonzo Ball. He is at best a third-string point guard. He's probably going to bounce back and forth between the G League and the Lakers, but still, he is a steady and seasoned floor general. That's a nice player to have around in the organization in case of emergency. To wrap things up, I want to talk about Isaac Bonga. And the big thing is his Summer League was terrible. There's no getting around it. He was a turnover machine. He looked lost most of the time. His jumper did not look good. He got pushed around in the paint. He occasionally made some nice plays handling the ball, occasionally made a few nice passes here and there, but for the most part, he was a deer in headlights. And all of that is why Lakers fans are pretty down on that pick. 39th pick overall. They even made a trade in order to get the pick. There was some talk that maybe they were hoping Mitchell Robinson was going to be there. Obviously, if it was, Lakers fans would be going even crazier right now over how good of a draft they just had. I think even if they had taken, say, DeAnthony Melton, who was a guy who I liked a lot, with the 39th pick, then Lakers fans would be even more optimistic about their draft. But it's way too early to start throwing out the word bust. And I've seen it. I've seen people saying, oh, the Lakers wasted their pick. Isaac Bonga is 18 years old. He's from Germany, and he got 25 minutes with the team before being thrown into a game. So think about all that. He's from a foreign country. He's 18 years old. He gets thrown into his first experience as a professional here in the United States with hardly any practice time to learn his teammates and figure out the team's plays. Its Summer League can be kind of helter-skelter anyway. Now, I'm not saying that's a total excuse for him. Yes, he made some bad plays, but again, this guy is super young, and it's way too early to jump to conclusions and judge him, right? This guy, based on what we saw, is not ready for NBA action. He's just not. And that's okay. He will probably spend the entire year in the G League developing. This is a long-term project for the Lakers because they like his measurables, they like his playing style, they like the way he thinks the game. There's some things to work with. It's going to be interesting to see what they can mold him into. Right now, he's not an NBA player, but he's got some things going for him. He's got ridiculously long arms. He's super tall for a guard. So don't jump to conclusions. Be patient with him. Give him time. And again, even worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, it's a second-round pick. Those don't work out more often than not. No big deal. So again, no reason to get too upset over Bonga. Just be patient. Give him time. All right, at this point, the Lakers' Summer League's over, and that means that unfortunately we've got 2 months now of no basketball. It's going to be about 2 months till training camp kicks off, but keep checking in on LakersNation.com because we will be your Lakers fix during this long summer with no basketball. They say the waiting is the hardest part, and you think about what Lakers fans have to look forward to. LeBron James, the young kids having another year under their belt, all sorts of exciting things going on in the world of the Los Angeles Lakers. So again, keep checking back LakersNation.com for all your latest Lakers news and all the happenings going on within the world of the Los Angeles Lakers. That's it for today. My name is Trevor Lane. You can follow me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane. Till next time, see ya.